one day and I just sat there for some negotiation. Then I saw whatever I think, all these guys are agreeing to me, even though it's not good for them. That's the day I decided I will never sit for any negotiation ever. Even now, even for the yoga center, so much land is being bought, sold, whatever happening, I never sit for any negotiation because if I think something, they will do just that. So, I said I'll never again sit in a business deal, ever. I've not done that till now and I will not do it. So I just stepped out of my business and traveled around for about a year and a half, trying to check out what was coming in my memory, lifetimes of memory. So I traveled just to check if it's true. Though in my mind it was crystal clear, I was such a skeptic, I was trying to somehow prove it wrong. But every bit that I saw was there. I traveled thousands of kilometers across India, trying to identify those places. After that, there's been no looking back, the last 39 years.
Hello, Sadhguru. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming. It is an honor to have you. And every time that I have a guest on the show, I like to let them introduce themselves to my audience. So if you want to give my audience a quick bio or description of who you are.
Nothing much to say about myself, because in my experience, I still feel like I was born yesterday. What's there to say in a day?
Right. Wow. Well, that is why you are here. It is the wisdom that you have to share with all of us that I'm so honored to share with my audience as well. And, I'm constantly trying to work on expanding my consciousness as well as teaching my fans how to do that, as, trying to encourage them to meditate. I wanted to ask you about your spiritual journey. When did your journey with yoga and your spirituality, when did it begin?
You want the long story or the short story?
Whatever you want. You can give me the long one, I don't mind.
See, this started when I was like 4.5 years of age. Suddenly I realized that I actually don't know anything. I don't know anything means I don't know anything at all. Like, if somebody gives me a glass of water, I'm just staring at this water for hours because I don't know what is water. I know I can drink it, I know how different ways how I can use it, but I do not know what it is. Actually, even today, nobody knows what it is. Water is the only thing available in all three states. It is there as liquid, it is there as, out in the air, it is there as solid ice. And 2/3 of your body is water, 2/3 of the planet is water. If you want to look for life, we look for a drop of water. But do we know what it is? Actually, with all the scientific exploration, we have only learned how to use different things or abuse different things. But we still do not know even a single atom in its entirety. We do not know. So, when I was very young, I just realized I don't know a thing. So if I find a dry leaf, I'm looking at it for 5-6 hours at a stretch. If I sit up in the bed, I'm just staring at darkness for the whole night. My father, being a physician, started thinking I need psychiatric evaluation. This boy is simply staring at something, it looks like he's lost it. My problem is, I look at this, I still don't know this, I'm not able to shift my attention to that. I'm only here because I still don't know this. In this condition, they sent me to school. And my mother said, you must pay attention to the teachers, don't look here and there. So I went and paid attention to the teachers, the kind of attention they had never seen in their life.
How so?
Absolutely paying attention to them. I know their past, present and future, but I don't know what they're talking because even they did not know what they were talking.
Wow.
So, this went on. Somehow I moved from one class to another one. Though I must tell you that, these monthly tests were happening. They'll give a report card at the end of the month. Still in practice, I think. So when the report card comes, some children are strutting around because they are first, second, something. Some children are sitting in corners and crying because they're afraid to go home with whatever they got on their cards. I was very happy and very sure of myself because I always got 6 zeros consistently. Because I wrote nothing.
Wow.
If they insisted, I put my name, otherwise I wrote nothing. So, when the report card comes, I just take it and give it to my father. Every time he sees, he just blows up. I don't know what nasty things they're writing to him, but I never bothered to open and see because I thought this is a transaction between my teacher and my father. I had no business in that. Because I first of all did not know why the hell I was in a school and why was I going there. I never understood. Nobody nobody made me understand why I have to go to school. I found, like when I was just 3.5 years of age, they started sending me to this kind of a baby school, all right? So this housemaid walks me down. I made a deal with her, you leave me at the gate. She wants to leave me in the classroom, which I don't like. She left me at the gate, and once you enter the gate, you can't come out. So I just loiter around, then as soon as she disappears, I disappear somewhere. I'm just 3.5, and I found the Grand Canyon in India. And there I went and did all my scientific experiments. My father was a physician, I emptied lots of bottles which were at home and caught tadpoles, all kinds of insects, this, that. I was making a scientific study. But after 3.5 months, they caught me and said that I was playing in a gutter. Oh, it was it was a huge Grand Canyon in my experience and it was full of life.
Oh, wow.
So, I somehow moved on. This happened about 15 years ago. This school where I studied over 47, 48 years ago, they came and they said, this is our 125th anniversary of the school, you must come and speak. I said, see, I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Because I came there only when it was a must, otherwise I was gone somewhere. They said, no, our school has produced federal ministers, our school has produced film stars, our school has produced cricketing stars. In India, cricketing stars are very big. But you're the only mystic, you must come. So I went. So I went and stood up in the quadrangle of the school to speak. I looked around, same oppressive buildings. And then I looked at this classroom and I suddenly remembered what happened there. I was 12 years of age. And those days, I barely spoke. Because when you don't know anything, what do you say? I'm still trying to drink in life. What is there to say? I'm paying attention to the world to at least have some grasp of what it is. So, this man is asking some question. Initially, I look at them, I see their form, and I hear their voice, but I don't understand their words, I just hear sounds. Because people are coming and making sounds, this is what I saw in the school. Teacher after teacher, they come and make sounds, make sounds, make sounds, because I realized that, see right now I'm talking, actually I'm making only sounds. Suppose I start talking in one of the Indian languages that you don't understand, you have no clue about. As far as you're concerned, I'm just making sounds, isn't it? So I realized it's me who is making up the meanings in my head, they're just making sounds. So I stopped making meaning in my head, I just looked at them and they went on making sounds and it looked so amusing, so a big smile spread on my face. But they were not amused.
Right.
They were not amused at all.
But I wish more people would do what you were doing, which is drinking life in and just observing.
There is too much expression and no experience.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And what do you say to people who need to listen, who need to drink life in a little bit more?
Human experience happens from within. Pain and pleasure is generated from within us. Joy and misery generated from within us. Agony and ecstasy generated from within us. But we are thinking something else is doing it to us. So the more and more I looked at it, I understood the mechanics of how what we call as human functions from its very core of non-physical dimension to the physicality of who we are. As I observed it more and more, I realized various things. One day I was like around 17 or 18 at that time. Food was, no, I don't call this a eating problem, but I ate a lot. I never put on any weight because I was so intensely active, all the time physically active in sport, in climbing rocks, riding motorcycles, at that time I was riding a bicycle endlessly. So one day I put a morsel of food in my mouth and it exploded in my mouth. I suddenly realized something that is not me, coming from somewhere, suddenly is becoming me. Within my mouth, not even… it didn't even go into my stomach, right here, it's just becoming me. That's how it's happened, isn't it? It just hit me so hard. Suddenly I started eating slow because, not by choice, not by wanting to be slow, suddenly the experience of eating became like the greatest thing because something that's not me, it is no more about taste, it is about something that's not you is becoming you. This is the greatest love affair happening within myself. It just exploded. Like this it went on and by then I had become a super skeptic about everything. Skeptical about social situations, moralities in the world, religion, politics, economics. I'm super skeptical about everything. Then I started a few businesses because I was crisscrossing India on my motorcycle. Then they stopped me at the borders. I was nearly 20, but I did not know there is something called as a passport, That's another generation. They stopped me and said, where is your passport? I pulled out my driving license because I've been riding since I was 12 without a license. By the time I got 18, within 3 months I got my first driving license. Well, I thought my driving license is like, will take me anywhere in the world. These guys stopped me at the border and said, this is not going anywhere, you need a passport. So I did not know what it is, where to get it from. I came back, figured it out. Within 6 months I got a passport because I thought I'm going to just ride away across the world. Then I knew I need some money, so I started a business, I started a farm. I built a few farms for others. Then I got into construction, became far more successful than people would normally think would happen in a short period of time because I'm like 18, 20 hours a day non-stop. Okay others work 8 hours a day and they stop in between, they have to smoke, they have to drink, they have to eat, they have to rest. I have no such issues, I'm like on. So naturally, everything worked. And my mother started saying, oh, somebody told me that when you were born, that you will live a very fortunate life. I said, I'm the one who is working my ass off, and you telling me somebody told you, huh? Somebody told you I'm fortunate. Do you know all the circus I'm going through
Yes.
to produce results on the surface? Do you know all the circus that happens inside?
I would love to ask you about your relationship with motorcycles because I find this so fascinating. It's not every day that you see a yogi on a motorcycle and then finding practices, or learning valuable lessons through it. What drew you to motorcycles and what did you learn from it?
I started riding small scooters and motorcycles when I was 12.
Yes.
It was not legal, but still, it is not motorcycle per se. If you were walking, you could cover only that much terrain. If you were on a motorcycle, it took you where… Like I was just saying, it's not about freedom, it's about the ropes. So legs were ropes, so bicycle became freedom. Once you saw a motorized bicycle, naturally you went for that, all
Right,
right.
right.
So as I said, I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle at that time. But after that, things happened when I was 25, this whole thing exploded, my myth of who I am, my individuality exploded and completely I lost everything. One afternoon I went up the hill, a small hill in Mysore. Are you familiar with India? No.
No.
You should come.
Well, I have been, but I didn't get to spend too much time there.
There is a city called Mysore in the south. So that's where I grew up. So there's a small hill. Generally, this is the thing there, at least at that time, the tradition in the hill in Mysore city is, if you want to test our motorcycles, of course we go up Chamandi Hill. If you want to camp, we go up Chamandi Hill. We want to party, we go up Chamandi Hill. We fall in love, we go up Chamandi Hill. If we fall out, we have to go up Chamandi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you go up Chamandi Hill. So one afternoon, between two business meetings, I had nothing to do. So not even thinking about it, I just rode up Chamandi Hill, parked my motorcycle, went up and sat on a rock that was familiar to me. Suddenly, for the first time, I did not know really what is me and what is not me. What was me was just all over the place. And I couldn't figure out what's happening to me. And every cell in my body was dripping ecstasy, bursting with ecstasy. I don't know what was happening to me, I thought this lasted for 10-15 minutes, but when I came back to my normal senses, it was about 4.5 hours. I was sitting right there, eyes open. It was 3:30 in the afternoon when I sat there, sun had set, it had become dark. But for the first time in my adult life, me and tears were impossible. I live like this, but tears to a point my shirt is all wet. So when I ask my super skeptical mind, what is happening to me? The only thing that my mind could tell me is, maybe you're going off your rocker. But within myself, I knew I've hit a gold mine. I don't know what it is, but I knew this is not something to be lost. So when I shared with my closest friends that something like this is happening to me, but just close my eyes, I'm just gone. Hey, come on, what did you drink? Come on, what did you pop? Where did you get it? Well, this is all I got. So suddenly I realized there was no context in the society around me as to what was happening to me. Nobody knew what was happening to me. People, my family started looking at me with some concern because suddenly, the shape of my face was changing, my eyes changed, my voice changed. Within matter of 3-4 weeks, my gait changed. Even if I tried to walk the way I was walking earlier, I couldn't walk. Suddenly my gait changed, everything changed. And lifetimes of memory just descended on me in such a way that it became a bit challenging to be with the people who were around me, my family, my friends, my work. By then, within 5 years, I was known as a very successful entrepreneur, having half a dozen businesses going. I just couldn't go there anymore. I went there one day and I just sat there for some negotiation. Then I saw, whatever I think, all these guys are agreeing to me, even though it's not good for them. That's the day I decided I will never sit for any negotiation ever. Even now, even for the yoga center, so much land is being bought, sold, whatever happening, I never sit for any negotiation because if I think something, they will do just that. So, I said, I'll never again sit in a business deal, ever. I've not done that till now and I will not do it. So I just stepped out of my business and traveled around for about a year and a half, trying to check out what was coming in my memory, lifetimes of memory. So I traveled just to check if it's true. Though in my mind it was crystal clear, I was such a skeptic, I was trying to somehow prove it wrong. But every bit that I saw was there. I traveled thousands of kilometers across India trying to identify those places. After that, there's been no looking back, the last 39 years. At that time, I sat down after about maybe a year or maybe a few months. I thought, see, this is fantastic. If I simply sit here and don't mess with my mind, I'm ecstatic, bursting. And I knew this is true with everybody. I tried with a few people and it worked. Then I made a plan. In 2.5 years' time, at that time the world's population was 5.6 billion people. In 2.5 years' time, I will make the entire humanity ecstatic. I've discovered this. 39 years now. Been working 7 days of the week, 365 days, over 16 to 18 hours a day. Here I am. People say we have touched over 1 billion people today, but 1 billion is not the world has become nearly 8 billion now. So I'm just telling you my sob story, I will die a failure, but a blissful failure.
I don't think that you will be dying of failure, if it's any consolation.